This channel and its videos are intended for general audience. James in Jeopardy. There was an old bridge that crosses the main line. It is very dangerous for big engines to cross it, as the bottom supports are in bad disrepair. The small tank engines are the only ones allowed to cross it, but only when it's needed. One day at the yards, James was cross. "Why can't I go across that silly bridge?" he fussed. "Because," retorted Thomas, "only small engines like me and Percy are allowed to cross it. It could collapse if tender engines use it," he puffed. James scoffed and collected his coaches. Later on, James was racing along the main line and was nearing the bridge. He looked up and saw Percy pass with a goods train. James blew his whistle and made the little green engine jump, and he couldn't stop laughing. Percy was cross. The next morning, James had to take a goods train to Wellsworth. As he puffed into the yards and coupled to the trucks, Sir Topham had arrived. "Bad news, James. The junction switches aren't working for you. You will need to take the long way round," he said. James didn't want to take the long way round. He then remembered the old bridge. "The trucks could push me across, and then no one would be blamed," he thought to himself. As James puffed along, he told the trucks his plan, and as he took the branch line, it was too late for his driver and fireman to stop and go back. His plan was working. James snorted up the hill and then saw the bridge. The red engine inched slowly across. It creaked and groaned. Suddenly, there was a mighty crack. The bottom was starting to fall away. James, without thinking, took off like a rocket, and the bridge collapsed. The main line was blocked. The guard and the brake van ran to a nearby signal box and rang the alarm. Later, Gordon puffed in and was cross. "The indignity, James. You should have known that big engines don't go on branch lines. You should scrap your silly little tender and get a bunker if you want to be smaller than you already are." James just ignored him and looked down at his buffers. A few hours later, Thomas and Percy arrived with Rocky. Sir Topham was on board. "Now you know why branch line bridges hold branch line engines," he scolded. "Yes, sir. Sorry, sir," James whimpered. Rocky then lifted James back onto the rails and then went to remove the bridge. James had to carry away the scrap and then shunt in the yard as his punishment. He regrets ever crossing the bridge, and now the trucks even tease him about it too. Hopefully James will learn a valuable lesson, don't you?